Hey everyone, and welcome to Cozying Up with the Clear Cut, where we get up close and personal with women that inspire us. Today we have Jenny Friedman. She is the co-founder of Supernode Ventures. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So she is a super young female in the venture space, and that's pretty uncommon, right?
I think so. I mean, there actually have been tons of funds, to be completely honest, as of late, and a lot of intermobility within the VC ecosystem. And I think that you are seeing a lot of younger partners, and it's a very young industry. But
and for those of us who don't know what VC is, can you explain kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Definitely. So it's venture capital, and we're investing in early stage companies. So we at Supernode, we're doing pre-seed and seed. The word type doesn't really matter. It's basically based on valuation and how much traction the company is at and how much revenue they've been doing, whether it's a SaaS company in terms of MRR, ARR, and if it's a consumer company, how many units they've sold and daily average users.
So basically, she puts in probably the initial investment in an early stage company based on their traction and how well they're doing. So what are those initial investment sizes look like?
So we will do pre-revenue, pre-traction. Those are typically considered pre-seed. So we'll put $100K or a couple $100K in a super early stage company, and then we intend to follow on and exercise our pro rata, help these companies get exposure to press and later stage investors. And then for the seed companies, they're probably a little bit farther along, and we'll still put in the same amount of capital. We'll just obviously not have as much ownership. But I would say half of our portfolio, our initial checks are pre-seed, and half are pre-seed and half are seed as initial checks.
So when you guys put in $100K into a company, that's just part of the overall round the startup is raising, right? Okay.
And so sometimes it's like a $400K round, and we'll put in a quarter of it, something like that.
Cool. And what are your favorite types of early stage companies to invest in? When you see a company come pitch you, what's something that excites you, things that you look out for, you're like, these are the types of businesses that I want to put money towards?
Great question. It's very founder focused. I mean, I was at a different fund, which I'm sure we'll speak about later, but they were doing half B2B and half B2C. So half consumer and half business to business software. I love consumer because you can relate to it, and you talk to all your friends about it, and everyone loves the latest trends and wants to be the next Allbirds and Glossier, etc. And it's very attractive and exciting. Those are the sexy deals. However, as I've been in venture for about
they're probably a bunch of unsexy but great businesses.
Great, 100%. So 4 years into venture, I was like, I love consumer, but I'm not going to be just a consumer fund because customers are super fickle. It's very correlated to a ton of media and marketing spend, and there needs to be some sort of moat. So I love consumer. I just need to see either something on the supply chain, whether it's an supply chain arbitrage, or on the tech side, something proprietary. But it's very hard to just throw darts right now at another consumer product.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are a lot of women or just young people out there that are really interested in VC and kind of find it, a difficult industry to break into. So we'd love to know, how did you get here? What was the path you took to have your own early stage fund?
So I think, and I was just reading something I read on Eric Schmidt saying something that it was all about luck. A lot of things are about luck, and
or capitalizing on your luck, right?
100%. Mm-hmm. So my background, very quickly, born and raised in New York City, went to Penn, worked at Goldman for a couple of years, and then really wanted to make the transition into.
Did you like working at Goldman?
I think it was, honestly, everyone can say what they want, but the network I've created, connections I made, friends I've made, it's a great place to start your career. You learn how to be a professional. And I didn't love that entire corporate environment, which is why I sort of wanted to venture in a different environment. But
it's a great place to start.
You learn how to be a I don't know, like you learn how to work.
Yeah.
Like you really do. It's very hierarchical. I think it's become more lax as the environment. I was there, last time I was there was 2014, 15. And I think that there's more working from home, and it's like a little bit easier than it was before. It was very stringent and just.
But that probably helps you a little bit with your work ethic today, right?
Totally, 100%. And it was just, I used to be just, it was like very methodical. I went to Penn, worked at Goldman in the summers, then went right after, and I like just wanted to know my exact path. Sort of like getting into Penn early when I was in high school. Like I just wanted.
You always had like a plan,
Right.
and you were like, I'm always going to follow this plan. So when did you realize like your plan wasn't your lifelong plan?
So headhunters would call me and ask me if I wanted to do asset management and similar positions, just at a different great funds. And I was like, honestly, could you consider me can you consider me for venture capital? And they were like, that's not what we are paid to do. Like it's just not going to happen. So I was like, I need to find a different path. It's not going to be directly into venture. This is also 4 or 5 years ago when there were not this many funds. Now there's tons and tons, and the venture community here is thriving. Back then there was like a handful. And I really liked early stage companies, and I really wanted to be in seed and see what it was like to be in a scrappy environment. So I applied to Columbia Business School, got in super early within probably a year until I had to start.
Cool.
So I joined Minibar Delivery, which
For that year?
If you don't use it, you should. I really love Minibar. They're amazing. Their customer service is fantastic.
What is Minibar?
So it's basically alcohol. I can't speak right now. Seamless for alcohol. Exactly what it is. So you pay the same exact price as if you went to a bodega, and they deliver it to your door within an hour.
Is that only in New York City, or they're in other?
No, they're I don't even know how many cities they're in, but like dozens for sure.
And what did you do for them?
So I was a pre-MBA, so there was a lot of low-hanging fruit, but I did learn a lot about e-commerce, logistics, and marketplaces, which I love to look at now as an investor. I love that, and the team was great. It was super small. It was like probably the 2 co-founders, 2 engineers, a head of growth and head of marketing, and me. And I learned so much. It was honestly fantastic. This was also the time where you could Google like 20 best startups in New York City, and you could like just find. And I was like, this sounds dope. Let me do this. So I did that until business school, and then I reached out to a friend that was in my sorority. I'll just say because she's so fantastic, Liz Wessel. She started a company called Way Up. It was Campus Jobs way back when.
I met her at Techstars.
She's fantastic. I always knew she was gonna just crush life. Anyway, I reached out to her and I was like, hey, do you mind introducing me to your LPs? Because that was I no shame, and just you gotta do.
You gotta ask if you want something.
Honestly, for anyone that's gonna listen to this, you have to ask. It never hurts to ask. And the worst case is that they say no. And
say
then
no, yeah,
that's
and then whatever. But if you never ask, you might never get
You'll
that
never
opportunity.
know.
Yes.
So I asked Liz. I was like, do you mind introducing me to your LPs? And she said, ENIAC didn't invest, but Nahal, which is one of the founding general partners, did. And I think you would be fantastic with them. There's a team of 4 engineers are the co-founders and partners. And they're all from Penn, and they love the Penn contingency, and they give you a ton of responsibility, and they're great. Anyway, met with Nahal in the morning. He gave me an offer that afternoon, which is not normal at all. I think that it's due to the fact that he's married to Reshma, who is like just the greatest person, and she started Girls Who Code, and I think he just wanted to go home and say, I hired a girl. But he was the greatest mentor I ever had. He still is. He's one of my closest friends, and I co-invest with him at Supernode now. But I joined him at ENIAC, and he taught me really everything I know. So that was...
So you worked there while you were at Columbia Business School?
Yeah, and then a bit after... They, long story short, were investing outside of New York for a bit, closed their offices in New York, and then I was looking for something full-time here. And I happened to go to this is why you got to go to things. I'm not kidding. You know those things where you're just like, I really don't want to go out, but like I have to. I stopped by this event. It was a tech event for UJA, which is a Jewish federation.
Yeah.
My partner was there, and this is crazy because I met the guy who introduced me to Laurel is now Liz Wessel's fiance. Tell me about it.
Wow, that is a small world.
the weirdest thing. Anyway, he was asking me what I was doing, and I said, looking for something full-time here, really want to do early stage venture. And he was like, you should meet Laurel. She's actually here. She's looking for a partner. And I was like, what? I didn't know. I was just looking to be in a small environment, had a couple of qualifications, but like she really fit all of them. We totally had a shotgun marriage, met, drafted an agreement, and that was literally, I was like, what am I getting myself into?
How quick from when you guys met to
like
when...
2 weeks.
Are you
No,
kidding
it was
me?
insane.
How does that happen? Like, tell me, what was your conversation like? 'Cause
Like crazy, and I am not like, I'm
isn't
spontaneous, but I'm not like that.
She's like more seasoned
Yes.
in the industry,
yes,
right?
100%.
So was she looking for like some young blood to like partner up with, or what?
I think so. She's so kind and she's so open, and she's very young at heart. Really quickly, her background, she had an operating company called Media Bistro. She sold it. She had only raised $500K from Marty Peretz and Bill Ackman. That was it. She basically was doing LinkedIn for the media community because her background was in journalism. So she was a business journalist and spent like 30 some years in it. And then she actually started Media Bistro because she was 30 and single and in New York and wanted to find a guy. So she started creating these like the parties to meet people. She actually met a husband, just not through that. It ended up being like a great sensation, and it took off. It was like a job board, and it was everything. She could have been Linda. She could have been Craigslist at some point. Like, that's her biggest regret. But she's fantastic. Anyway, she sold her company. She sold it for $23 million, kept it about a little bit over 60%. Then what she did with that was bought a big loft in Flatiron, where she hosts tons of events for our portfolio companies.
So how long ago did you start this together?
So we started it and met 2 years ago. And
Okay, 2 years.
like to the date almost.
Oh my God, awesome. And what was your first investment together?
So I actually love our first investment. We were just talking about it. It was Choosy. It's super
That was your
interesting.
first investment? Awesome.
And I go with my family every year over Christmas, and I did diligence before I left. I was on the plane. I was like, is this how venture is supposed to work? Like, it was just very crazy. I had done all the diligence, then I sent it to Laurel, and I was like, what do you think? And she was like, I just met the founders. This is amazing. We've got to do it.
So for those of us who don't know what Choosy is, can you explain?
So it started, it's basically... it's Zara or H&M sort of 2.0. So they get everything off the runway and create it for you in a couple of days. And it's basically a flash fashion company.
And is it like limited quantities?
So I think that one of the most interesting things about it is that they will gauge interest in certain items in real time. So it really helps with balance sheet management. And they have a relationship with a manufacturing plant in China, which they have sourced all their fabrics and done everything there. So they've done a fantastic job, and that was our first deal. We were the only institutional investors. Then a couple months later, NEA and Forerunner did it, which was I was like, I'm so good at my job. Like,
yeah, you're like starting trends.
I was so happy. I was like, NEA, my first deal, and Forerunner. I was so happy. and then Kotu had just gave them a bit for a seed extension, and they're going to be out for an A soon. But they've been doing a great job.
Well, they were just
like, do you see them on their Instagram? They're all over mine.
I get their ads all the time
right? Yeah.
on Instagram. Yeah, and I think I read in the Forbes 30 under 30 that they raised like $11 million or something.
Yeah, they raised a ton of.
And that's not their A?
No.
Oh my God! So that was a seed?
But it was expensive. It was expensive.
Cool.
They're going to be raising the seed very shortly. It's A.
So I feel like there's like such different definitions of like what seed is now versus what A, because I feel like a few years ago like $2 million would have been a Series A, right?
It's all changed. So when I was at ENIAC, we were even trying to explain to people what seed investing was, and people like were very used to A being the initial investment, and everything before that was sort of angel investing, friends and family, etc. So seed evolved, and then everything's been pushed up. So it's been like what used
Now
to be
pre-seed is what seed
exactly,
used to be.
exactly, and all same with A and seed. So it's like everything's gone upstream, and so then we created sort of a category. We didn't Supernode didn't create it. We saw big space in the market for it, which some other funds have been doing. It's called pre-seed, which is basically institutionalizing angel investing. So instead of raising capital from friends and family, you get everything that comes with a VC, and you're raising at a pre-product and pre-revenue.
So this is out of just my curiosity. So as a venture fund, when you're investing in a consumer company, what kind of returns are you looking for if you know they're raising such big at such big valuations?
Honestly, right now, I have to say I'm trying to stay disciplined. It's been insane. Like, people are investing. I can't wait for the quote correction. It's been nuts. People are doing...
Because there are companies that aren't profitable that are worth almost $1 billion, so to say, right?
Insanity. I mean, So we've seen... This is the busiest I've ever seen ever since SoftBank. Like, August was supposed to be dead, as it is for every other industry, and it was the busiest summer we've ever had. And through now, I mean, it's continuing to be like that. I think that, there's pre-product deals that, consumer deals that are so interesting that we would love to do, like about longevity and anti-aging and all this stuff, but they're raising at really unreasonable valuations.
I mean, like, for the regular person that doesn't know much about, like, investing or venture, I know that, WeWork's been in the news, and just to see, like, them spending so much money and now not doing well after, wanting to IPO, that's something that's like, wait, so you can, like, get all this money from people but don't have to show returns, and then you're...
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Basically, I thought that after we were... personally, I was thinking that with WeWork and with everything that's gone on in the climate, we were ready for the correction. It was going to happen soon.
Yeah.
But I'm still seeing, like,
happened.
pre-product deals that are being... Basically, when I say pre-product, it's like there's no product and there's been no sales. So it's like basically it's essentially an idea. And they're raising they're valuing their own businesses like $30 million or $50 million.
How, like...
No,
where
it's
is that
wild.
coming
It's
from?
wild. I was just talking to my former boss about this, and it's like, he was like, no, it's crazy town. I was like, it is crazy town. It's nuts. So I'm trying my best to just wait until it calms down, because it just doesn't make sense, and I don't,
And what are you most excited about, like, in the future of, like, startups, and what do you hope to invest in soon?
I hope to invest in. We were very founder focused.
And what does that mean?
So it's when you're investing this early, it's really about the founders.
So, like, how well they fit into whatever industry?
Yeah, and there's, like, a thing called founder market fit, which is, like, just very real. Like, you have to understand the industry. You have to be a domain expert. If it's a technical company that you need to scale in-house, you need to be technical yourself. Do you have the grit? Are you going to persist? Like, there's so many things that you need to learn about. You need to get to know people. At least for us, we need to meet them in person. We need to meet them a bunch of times, personally and professionally. Get references. It's whether or not this person is going to give up. And sometimes, honestly, I would say two things about teams. Personally, I prefer at least two-person team. It just usually works out better like that. It's very hard for one person to do all of it.
I couldn't do it on my own.
I mean,
but it's
can you imagine, though, doing it?
No, I can't imagine doing it at all on my own. But also what's interesting is, like, when Kyle and I started, a lot of people were like, don't tell people that you're a couple, because we weren't married at the time.
Yeah.
So...
Well, your story was something, because you guys weren't engaged, and you started an engagement company.
Yeah. So we were like, eventually we'll get engaged, but we're starting this company now. So I know a lot of people are like, don't tell people, but it was just like, and in our Techstars cohort, there were like a bunch of like male, female co-founders, and everyone was in a relationship, but they were just all pretending not to be. But it's like you end up finding out, and like, what's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that, but I forgot the statistic. I really should know it off the top of my head. The biggest the biggest source of a startup failing is the management team falling apart. And it's an enormous
But that
statistic.
can happen with friends,
100%. But you just, you're treading lightly when it's a couple. Especially, like, you guys were ripe to get engaged. So I was just like, is he going to propose soon or not? Because you guys start, like,
it's like, if he's not proposing, what's up?
yeah, like, you wouldn't, if it had been a couple more years, would you have stayed with it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he was very good at just being like, we're just starting a company. We don't have...
yeah, well, we only have so much time for that.
I know. Well, good thing, he got over
Good thing it happened.
Wait, I want to do a little bit of a transition because you're actually one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram, and she is so funny. Oh my god.
Thank you so much.
And it's so funny because you're like this professional, like venture, venture capitalist, but on Instagram you're like a comedian.
It's so nice. Honestly, thank you so much. I'm obsessed with Instagram. I find it to be such a fun outlet. I don't know. I would love to be like, I told my former boss this the other day. I would love to be like the Fred Wilson of Instagram, but like combine it and be like do my own twist with social media presence, and nobody's really done that.
For those of us who don't know who Fred Wilson is,
he started Union Square Ventures, and he's just one of the gurus in VC.
So you want to be like a VC
like
influencer?
Mary Meeker. So I want to be like a VC. Influencers, like,
it's like a blanket term now.
But like I don't really like the whole combining personal and professional, but with my job at VC, you actually don't really have a choice. And everyone in that VC is so not incestuous, but like, everyone's like, everyone knows each other.
Community.
The ecosystem is very small. And so they end up following you on Instagram, and you're like, should I post? Should I not? And then you're just like, you know what? F it. Like, I'm just gonna be me, and they know me personally, they know me professionally, and I work really hard. And so if I'm gonna post whatever, like, it doesn't detract.
I look forward to like all your like Halloween posts.
Oh my god, this year I didn't do Halloween.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
The past couple years, it was so funny.
Much.
You were like Lindsay Lohan, like at the beach club one year, and who's that girl? Like
I was Cash Me Outside. How about that? Oh my god,
you like literally look exactly like her. It was like scary. We need to like. Well, in your costume, we gotta like pan to see.
No. Every time I show people, they're like, "You guys are twins." I'm like, that wasn't really the point, but I love Halloween.
Wait, who is that?
It's my favorite holiday. I love it. This year, just like weddings got involved, and I don't know. Yeah, but if it wasn't gonna like crush, I didn't want to do it. There was no one that I was like, this is my next. It has to like top last year.
You've like conquered all the notable redheads.
That's the thing. No, but if anyone has any,
comment and let us know what you should be next year.
No, but actually.
So for every episode, we ask all of our guests what their spark is. So that basically means like what ignites your passions, what keeps you going every day, even when like times are tough. Like,
totally.
What is your inspiration?
So I think I think this is so lame to say this, but it's really not. So my dad works harder than anyone ever. He started as a cabbie. He sold calculators when he was in college. Like, he never really drank. He was like a nerd like you've never experienced. And then he worked at Citibank. He led Lev Fin, and then at Citi, and was doing Brooklyn Law School at night. Like, just like that intensity of like just wanting to succeed, and the persistence. And it just, I think for me and my brothers, we just saw him as just such an inspiration. And my mom did work. She worked on Wall Street. She also went to Columbia Business School and Penn, similarly.
Following in her footsteps?
Yes. There's actually a great article that they put out about us, which was so nice. It was so nice.
Where is the article?
It's like a lot. It was sent out a couple months ago. They were doing a mother-daughter feature. Yeah, it was so nice. But, I mean, she decided, she still works 2 days a week, but she was a mom, and she still is a mom. And
that's a very important 100%. Big job too. Yeah,
she raised three fantastic kids. I mean, they would agree I'm the favorite. I'm definitely the favorite. It's not really up for like everyone, we know, we all
Everyone
know
knows.
it. Yeah. But we all work really hard, the three of us, and we, you want to do well for yourself and for your family and your friends. With my job in particular, though, I love the fact that I can use growing up in New York and Goldman and Penn and Columbia Business School, wherever my past has taken me, to help entrepreneurs now. It's so
Using
rewarding.
your network to help
100%.
grow new businesses.
And honestly, I know I talk about it in the hall all the time, my former boss, but I promise you, like, he is the definition of karma. He will do anything for anyone, always making introductions, just the kindest person. And I've learned so much from him, like, to go out of your way to respond to that email, a cold email from an alumni, or all of that. And it makes a difference. It really does, just to be helpful. And I know everyone makes fun of VCs, like, how can I be helpful? But part of our job is to really use our networks to be helpful to other entrepreneurs. And it is very rewarding when you make, you close the loop on someone that you grew up with or knew from wherever to an entrepreneur that's, like, hustling and starting out, and it makes a huge difference.
So we give all of our guests a spark ring, and this ring, is just a daily reminder of your passions, your ambitions, what keeps you going every day.
No, this is perfect, because I was thinking, I have another pinky ring that I'm obsessed with, and I was like, I should get another one on this pinky.
Does it fit?
It's amazing. Love it.
We can size it for you.
No, this is it.
Awesome.
I love it. I'm going to post about it. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm trying to think of something funny for Instagram now that I'll have all these new followers. I'm just kidding. Beautiful. Thank you.
We also ask all of our guests to bring a piece of jewelry that is sentimental to them. So what did you bring today?
Okay, well, I wear this every day. So basically, my mom didn't want me to wear an anklet. She thought it was really, not classy. And I totally disagree. So my favorite anklet ever, we were on vacation, just the two of us. We do a mother-daughter trip in summer, and it's the best week of my life. It fell off, which I'll cry thinking about it. But I loved it so much. This isn't it, but it still reminds me of exactly
Where were you on your mother-daughter trip?
We went to Capri in Italy.
Nice.
We do it every year. It's so sweet. It's even, she's like, when you're in a serious relationship, can we still go? I'm like, of course we can still go. Can't wait. It's the best week ever. Anyway, despite hating the anklet, she still got it for me, and it was so sweet. And she hated it, but she was like spent so much time
and it has like
helping
a
me figure out.
Elephant on
So
it?
the other one had like some hearts and stars and stuff. But then my cousin actually got me an elephant for good luck, and it was a bracelet I turned into an anklet, and I love it. It's just like, I think it's beautiful and sexy, and I love it so much. But I even wear it in the winter where no one can see it.
Yeah.
And
so you never ever take it off?
Never. I love it, except when it fell off in the ocean. You gotta be really careful with jewelry.
You gotta be really
it's
careful.
Very upsetting.
Don't wear it in the ocean if you don't want to get
don't.
lost. And every episode we also go from our spark to sparkle, and we look at some jewelry. Today we just actually came from a shoot of our collection, and Jenny loves earrings, so I wanted to just show us our inside out diamond hoops that are our blingiest hoops, and she's wearing some gold hoops
Well,
today.
I wear gold hoops every single day. I say that they have an F for my last name, for Friedman. I love them. I mean, they don't actually, just the brand. But these are amazing.
Yeah, so you can see diamonds from like every angle in that one.
Is it weird if I ask you how much they sell them for?
I think they're like $2,500. Kyle, look it up.
So they're for real.
Yeah.
These are amazing.
They're solid gold and diamonds.
Mom, do you want to get these?
Yeah, Mom.
These are beautiful. I love them so much.
Thank you.
Can we confirm the price? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it would look great in them.
Kyle's confirming.
Beautiful. Love them. Love.
Thank you.
$24.25.
$24.25. So I was estimating too high.
Well, Hanukkah's coming up. That's what's coming up.
Hanukkah's late this year, right?
Yes, it hasn't started. We still have time.
Still time.
And do you guys have do you guys sell a bunch
We
of
have a
earrings?
whole collection now. So we
Amazing.
started with the custom engagement rings, but we launched our collection this past January, and now we've just been adding to it, and it's been like the fastest growing part of our business.
I mean, I get that because earrings are the best.
Yeah.
Love earrings. Earrings change a whole outfit. I could be wearing like real earrings, and then, I mean, I am going out, but They change everything.
It's true. I was wearing, we have these new ones that are like our downtown diamond drops, and they're just these little drop earrings, but I was wearing a really casual outfit and put them on, and I instantly was much like more elegant.
And and you like feel sexy, everything about it.
Yeah.
I love big earrings.
Awesome.
Love.
Well, if someone has a startup, like, how do they get to you? How are they like, Jenny, give me money?
You have to use your network, which everyone does.
What if you're someone that like is just smart and has a great idea but doesn't like have a network?
You have to
Just
honestly,
reach out to you on LinkedIn?
No, these days I've been trying to check my inboxes. It's not the best way, but sometimes it works. Honestly, it's really like people that you think would never respond, or people like I emailed the most random person, a very famous person the other day, and I got a response.
You know what I think is the best way to get a response? I always DM people on Instagram.
So my friend works at this company called Face Gym. I'm doing a shameless plug too.
I saw you get your face like slapped up.
Yeah.
That was so funny too.
And she slides in. She slid into Lizzo's. She went to P. Diddy's house. She's best friends with all these peeps in LA through sliding into their DMs.
Yeah, that's how I met a lot of my good friends too, just sliding into their DMs or the other way around. It just sounds so
You can meet
creepy.
guys that way though too. I'm single, just by the way.
She's single. If you want to slide into her DMs.
Feel free. Like I'll check it.
Or if you want money from her, slide into her DMs.
I'm very useful. It can be useful. No, but you really have to use your network. Like, even if your parents' friends, your siblings' friends, like...
But a lot of people... So, this is, like, a lot of critiques and criticism with the startup and venture community. I feel like it's, like, if you went to Columbia Business School or if you went to Penn, you have or worked at Goldman Sachs, you have a network. Like, more privileged, wealthy people that friends and family. That's not a concept that a lot of
100%.
people can have.
I think it's a combination of things, but even so what if your friend was able to do all those things, then take advantage of your friend's network.
But what if you don't even have the opportunity to meet people in those circles? Like, what if you come from, what if you grew up like in the projects in Chicago and like you didn't go to college, but you have this like amazing idea and you've been like being an entrepreneur on the side, like just out of pure hustle, but like where are you going to get your investment? Like when are you going to get people
Okay, so I think I'm actually a fan of cold emailing. I do it myself when I think a startup is interesting. I do it all the time. I write the subject saying like Supernode Jenny and then like clear cut and parentheses Olivia. Like and I just say like I'm a partner at this fund, would love to learn more. My success rate has been it's like 99%. It's fantastic. Cold emails, some people they're like warm intros are great, but cold emails work, I think. And then there's
it's
so
just
many
about getting
meetups.
To the right person, right?
Yeah, but there's meetups. There's like if you go on Eventbrite, like there are so many tech events, and there's so many people that are speaking at places. And if you hustle, like wait until the speaker's done and be the first person to be like, can I have a car? Like. You just have to hustle. You've got to be aggressive.
And sometimes it's like an easier path, and sometimes you just got to work harder. It just is what it is.
And it's persistence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
persistence 100%.
And like the people that didn't go to Penn, that worked at Goldman, that came from an off the beaten path school, like those are the people that
are
probably
the hardest working.
100%,
mm-hmm.
and are gonna be the next Lloyd, or David Salton. No, but seriously, like if you want it badly enough, you have to hustle.
And Jenny will answer your cold emails, so just know that.
Well, I mean, no, I will, but like I'll answer them, but it's just I'll get a lot of emails a day, but I'll do my absolute best.
Don't cold email her if it's not something. Yeah.
No, but I'm always happy to help, especially alumni or people from if it's from someone in your community, it's sort of an obligation.
Yeah.
You feel like you have. I mean, not in a bad way, but like you should.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for coming.
you. So much more fun than I thought.
Really?
I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be bad, but like. So fun.
Awesome. And thank you to Firstly for getting our buzz on. We appreciate that. And Jenny, where can people follow you on Instagram and see all your hilarious posts and slide into your DMs? And
so my Instagram is Jenny Friedman, and it doesn't seem like it's a great it seemed like it's a great handle, but there's a lot of Jenny Friedman. So there's like Jenny Friedman 6 and Jenny Friedman 15.
So you're like the OG
Jenny Friedman
with a
IEDMAN.
double NY.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And it's the only one with red hair. It's a really dope picture, obviously. And then my email is just jenny@supernode.vc. And check out our we're not that active on Instagram. We're more active on Twitter. But
Follow on Twitter.
yeah, we do both Supernode and on Twitter I'm Jen Friedman. See, I didn't even get Jenny. But I'm not a huge on Twitter, but everyone else in tech is.
I know. I can't get into it.
We got to.
I know.
Like
Kyle
both
tweets
make
for me.
No, we'll both make a lot more money if we did that.
It's just so much more.
And it's so much extra.
I already got all this other stuff.
No,
going
it's so
on.
much extra. But everyone in tech, and none of my personal friends are on it.
But what do you say? Just your thoughts?
Yeah. Literally. It's lame, but you've got to do it. I'm now that I think of it, after this I'm going to have to tweet.
Okay. She's going to start tweeting. We're motivating her.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for stopping by again. And if you guys want to see the beautiful jewelry that we were looking at, head to The Clear Cut on YouTube. And, of course, follow us at The Clear Cut. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.